Red Zone weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
1:58 a.m. and we have a tornado warning for northern Monroe County. A possible tornado is happening near Scratch Ankle, and this is pushing off to the northeast. If you're in Beatrice, you need to implement your tornado safety precautions now, as we have a possible tornado near Alabama Highway 41 pushing straight toward Beatrice, Alabama. This is going to miss Monroeville to the north. So if you're in Monroeville, you're fine right now. We have a possible tornado just south of Franklin pushing toward Beatrice. And this is a warning, meaning you've got to take action to protect yourself. So again, a new tornado warning just coming on the board for Monroe County, Alabama, north of Monroeville. If you're in Frisco City or Excel, this is not for you. This is specifically for the far northern part of Monroe County, including areas near Beatrice. So again, a possible tornado in Monroe County lifting off to the northeast. Current time is almost 2 in the morning. And we need folks in northern Monroe County to go ahead and take your tornado precautions now, as we have a possible tornado very near Scratch Ankle, Alabama, which is on Alabama Highway 41. And the Weather Service is going ahead and issuing this tornado warning for parts of Wilcox County as well. And so this does include eastern Wilcox County out near Pineapple, not Pine Hill on the western side of the county, but for Pineapple on the eastern side of the county. So again, this is a possible tornado that has developed. This is actually one of those supercell storms that we were concerned about. This is out ahead of the main line. And so if you're near Beatrice, you need to be in a safe place now. Same thing at Tunnel Springs. This also does include Peterman. So Peterman, Alabama, you are involved in this tornado warning. And also areas near Old Scotland, River Ridge. You've also got Franklin, Buena Vista. A big chunk of Alabama Highway 21 is involved in this tornado warning. The possible tornado is going to be right in through here on the back edge of this thunderstorm. And it is pushing off to the northeast like that toward Beatrice. And so this tornado is going to be in Beatrice in a matter of moments, and this could be a tornado on the ground at this point, potentially producing damage in parts of northern Monroe County. It is now at 2:01 a.m. in the morning on this very early Monday morning, and the western part of Alabama in parts of Washington and Choctaw counties are actually under a severe thunderstorm warning. And so we have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of southern Choctaw and northern Washington counties. This is actually the main line of storms that's pushing in from Mississippi. But again, the reason we are here is because of this tornado warning that was issued just a few minutes ago for parts of northern Monroe County. Possible tornado is about 8 miles or so to the southwest of Beatrice. And it looks like this is going to miss Peterman to the north. Peterman was included in the tornado warning polygon, and the Weather Service has now clipped Peterman out. This is going to pass to the north of Monroeville. Same thing in Frisco City and Excel. You're fine right now. This is specifically way up here in the northern part of Monroe County, including Beatrice, and also areas near Old Scotland, River Ridge, and also Scratch Ankle. This is not going to be a warning that lasts very long, but this is serious business. That could be a tornado pushing into Beatrice, Alabama. So again, we are encouraging everyone in parts of northern Monroe County to go ahead and implement your tornado safety plan. And again, this does include parts of eastern Wilcox County as well. You've got McWilliams, Pineapple, also areas near Oak Hill involved in the tornado warning. And it's due to this. This is a nasty circulation that has developed on radar. And again, we're just after 2 in the morning, and I suspect this could be the first of what potentially could be several tornado warnings tonight. We're also tracking a separate cell down here in northern Mobile County that's very near the ThyssenKrupp plant. This is a developing supercell. It's weak. So that one is under severe limits. This is your main line of storms back here in West Alabama, extending back toward Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That right there is your main line, and it's moving like that. So very, very similar to what happened, 4 or 5 days ago. I can't remember exactly what day that was. I think it was Wednesday into Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. But very, very similar situation. The difference is we have this supercell storm out ahead of the main line of storms. And so, again, we're watching this possible tornado in northern Monroe County. And if you will, put me in the box. There we go. And what we're going to do is continue tracking this storm as it continues to push off to the northeast. 2:04 in the morning, and this is in a very hilly, rural part of northern Monroe County. This is in what we call the Red Hills of Monroe County. If you're familiar with this area, you know that Alabama Highway 41 is one of the more curvy roads in the whole state of Alabama. And it is not a road that you need to be driving on right now, as this storm is still pretty close to there. Out ahead of the storm, we've got Alabama Highway 21. So no travel right now on Alabama Highway 21, extending from Monroeville back up to Beatrice and really on beyond to McWilliams right now. So no travel on Alabama Highway 21 north of Monroeville. And quite frankly, the circulation continues to ramp up. So this warning is certainly going to remain in effect as this circulation continues moving just like that off to the northeast. And ultimately, this is going to cross into Wilcox County somewhere around the community of McWilliams. So what that means is everyone at McWilliams should be in a safe place now as this storm is headed your way. And it doesn't look like much on radar. This is a very small storm, but nonetheless, it could be producing a damaging tornado right now. And we know that this storm is in a very, very conducive environment for tornadoes tonight. So any storm that develops over the next few hours is going to be capable of producing tornadoes. And some of those tornadoes potentially could be strong tornadoes that last for quite a while, potentially, especially across inland areas. I see that we've got a new tornado watch. This is a new tornado watch for parts of several counties. Actually all parts of several counties. Monroe, Conecuh, Butler, and Wilcox have been added to the existing tornado watch. So this is a new tornado watch in effect for several more inland counties in southwest Alabama. Again, current time is 2:06 in the morning, and if you're in Monroe, Conecuh, or Butler counties, this is a little confusing because we have an existing tornado warning, but new tornado watch, just wanted to pass that along for those three counties. All right, let's go back to our tornado warning here. And this is why we're here. This is a nasty circulation signature coming into areas near Beatrice in northern Monroe County. No travel. That's the main story on Alabama Highway 21. Everybody in Beatrice, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now as this thing is coming right into town from the southwest. And Luke, I'm joined by Luke McKinnish. He's helping me very early on this Monday morning. If you'll watch those comments and see if we have any damage reports coming in, I suspect that it is going to be very challenging over the next several hours to be able to get these damage reports in because it's the middle of the night. Nobody's awake. I say nobody's awake. We appreciate you watching, but a lot of folks are asleep at this point. And hopefully the folks in northern Monroe County are taking these tornado precautions. Let's go ahead and put those up on the screen if we can, please. The graphics. One moment, I'll get that. That was my fault. There we go. So if you're in northern Monroe County, this is what we want you to do right now. Putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. Very important that you have a helmet on, something to protect your head. And let's go back over to LD1 and we'll show you that this storm is coming into Beatrice right now. So it can't be stressed enough for folks in Beatrice I'm telling you, that thing continues to strengthen, and it very well could be dropping a tornado as we speak. So Beatrice, Alabama, be in your tornado safe place. Lowest floor of a well-built structure, away from windows, away from doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. And look, this is the only tornado warning that we've got. Yes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning over in West Alabama, but quite frankly, those storms, not really impressive. Yes, they could produce gusty winds, but this is clearly the one to watch over the next few moments in northern Monroe County. All right, let me check with our friends at the National Weather Service and see what they're saying in the latest NWS chat here. Again, 2:09 in the morning. If I go silent, y'all know the drill. Hang with me as we have got a ton of things coming into the studio this morning. Again, Beatrice, Alabama. If you know anybody at Beatrice, you call them now and you let them know that we have a possible tornado coming in from the southwest. And I mean, that thing is in Beatrice now. If there's a tornado down, it's going through Beatrice right about now, and I hate that. You never want to see a tornado signature in the middle of the night come over a town, and in this case, it's Beatrice. And ultimately, this thing could end up eventually in parts of Butler and Lowndes counties. So we will worry about that with time, but right now, we've got far northern Monroe and eastern Wilcox counties in this tornado warning due to this supercell storm that has developed, likely producing a tornado right now in Beatrice, Alabama. So again, this is northern Monroe County. This does not include Monroeville. If you're in Monroeville, you're fine right now. Same thing at Frisco City, XL, and Uri. This is specifically for the northern part of Monroe County. And again, if I go silent, just bear with me. We're looking at a situation where we have now potentially a significant tornado down, potentially in northern Monroe County. And again, I want you to wake them up. Call your folks in Beatrice, Alabama. It cannot be stressed enough because this could be a sizable tornado. We're looking at the debris tracker there just to see if we see any debris, I should say, flying around. And I don't see a debris signature yet. That's good news. But nonetheless, with a signature like this, this is very significant rotation. And I don't care where you are in Beatrice, take an image of a tornado, but we just can't do that. We have to use radar in the middle of the night to be able to track these things. And so you're just going to have to trust me. I can't show you a drone shot or anything like that, but we can say that there is extreme rotation coming into Beatrice from the west. And folks in Beatrice, please, please be sheltered as we see copious amounts of rotation coming in from the southwest. Again, just adjusting a few things here in the studio to be able to better serve you during this tornado situation. There we go. And again, main line of storms is back here in West Alabama, extending into southeast Mississippi. The main line of storms has come through Hattiesburg. Just so you know, these storms are running a little bit behind schedule. It's now 2:12 in the morning, and quite frankly, storms are being a little slow. Compared to last time, what happened, storms were a little ahead of schedule. Of course, we didn't have these supercell storms out ahead of the main line in that situation. So it's a totally different ball game tonight. Storms being a little bit slower, and we're having to deal with these pop-up storms out ahead of the main batch of storms that could produce a few tornadoes. And so again, we're encouraging everyone in Beatrice, Alabama, to go ahead and be in a safe place now, lowest floor of a well-built structure, away from windows and away from doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. This thing on velocity continues to be quite impressive. And I tell you what, that is right over Beatrice. If you by chance are watching our feed in Beatrice, Alabama, leave me a comment below, and we're kind of watching for that. And even if you're in your safe place, I would be curious to know if you can see maybe the strikes of lightning out the window or hear loud thunder. I'm certainly assuming you can, as we see a lot of lightning with this storm as it continues to rapidly move to the northeast. And it's going to be in Wilcox County in about 10 minutes. So it's going to be clear out of Monroe County. It's a fast-moving storm out ahead of that slower-moving line of storms that we talked about a minute ago. And really, that's the only supercell right now, anyway, that warrants our attention. You can see the whole region there, all the way down to Mobile Bay, and this is the only tornado warning that we have. So again, downstream, we got to watch areas near McWilliams and also Hines Farm, along with a community called Riley, at Riley Crossing there, in this tornado warning in northern Monroe County. We need you to be in a safe place. And Luke, have you seen any comments? I have not. If your power goes out tonight, make sure you let me know about it in the comments below. I'm sorry, what was that? You haven't? Okay. All right, so 2:15 a.m., and we're tracking a possible tornado in northern Monroe County. This is at Beatrice now, and it's going to be coming up on Riley and also Hines Farm in the next few moments. Very rural part of the world, but I was in that area not too terribly long ago, and there's a good number of folks who live out here. And so that's why we come on the air and stay on the air at all hours of the night to help keep folks safe. And, we hope that all the folks got the warning in this area. And perhaps you're just now tuning in and you're in this tornado warning. We need you to be in a tornado-safe place. Lowest floor, or a basement if you've got one, away from windows and away from doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. Beatrice also, I'm trying to think, you've got McWilliams out here. There's a tiny community called Chestnut. It's not on our map, but again, I went through there not too terribly long ago. So if you live in Chestnut, you need to be in a safe place now. Same thing at Riley Crossroads, which is right here. Looks like this storm is going to miss Midway to the north. And this has nothing to do with Evergreen, by the way. I know the interstate exit, 96, is the Evergreen Midway exit, but this is going to pass well to the north of the community of Midway. It's going to be not too far from Midway, but I think that right there at the crossroads, I think that this possible tornado is going to be about 4 miles to the north. And so if you are on the Conecuh County side, you are okay. But if you're on the Monroe County side of Midway, I would, as a course of least regret, be in a safe place. Again, it looks like the core of this is going to move just like that, coming right over Hines Farm. And so we're going to track this thing until it gets into Wilcox County, and if the Weather Service decides to issue a tornado warning for Butler County belongs to us as well. And so if we get a downwind tornado warning, we will continue our coverage into Butler County. Let's go back to West Alabama and check our line of storms. Here's Thomasville. This is northern Clark County. No warnings for Clark at the moment. You've got northern Washington County near Millry included in a severe thunderstorm warning, and also Choctaw County as well included in a severe thunderstorm warning. That one is valid until 2:30 a.m. So you could have upwards of 60 mile per hour winds, but quite frankly, just looking at this, yes, the storms are loud and proud, but I would be kind of surprised if that happened. So that's a good thing. hopefully storms with this main line will not produce widespread damaging winds. I've got to be honest in saying this line has really underperformed over southeast Mississippi, and that is excellent news. Hopefully that trend will continue as it comes into southwest Alabama. I see we've got a comment from Beatrice saying lots of thunder, and I certainly believe that. Let's go back into our storm here in northern Monroe County. And lots of thunder, I believe it. Here's your strike counter for the lightning. You've got 348 strikes of lightning, cloud to cloud and cloud to ground, just in the last 10 minutes. And so, very loud storm for sure. Could be producing some small hail as well, especially on the north side. Probably not in Beatrice, but a little bit north of there, out toward Chestnut. And also areas near coming into Hughes and Hines Farm and McWilliams could have some hail over the next few minutes. Looking at the velocity on this, it's still there. That could be producing a tornado for sure, but it's not a guarantee. But with a signature like that, very well could be producing a tornado very near Beatrice. This thing is rotating like a top. I mean, it's pretty strong in terms of the rotation, and this is coming out towards Hines Farm over the next few moments. 2:19 in the morning. It's really tough to have tornado warnings anytime, but particularly in the middle of the night when we've got so many folks asleep, I can't tell you enough how helpful it is if you will call folks out ahead of this storm in Pineapple, Old Texas, also areas near Alabama Highway 10, near Oak Hill, and back over to the Butler County line. Please help us get the word out. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I can talk about tornadoes until I'm blue in the face, but you're the one that can be the hero by getting that message out to your folks out ahead of this supercell storm that could be producing a tornado in northern Monroe County. Let's check our other storms. I know you're probably hearing some thunder right now in the southern part of Monroe County. Just looking at these are under severe limits. So just kind of giving a broad overview here, the only tornado warning, I believe, let me check this. Yeah, the only tornado warning we've got anywhere in the state of Alabama is right now happening in our backyard in parts of northern Monroe and eastern Wilcox County. So for folks that are near Pineapple and also Old Texas, Beatrice, stay sheltered. We'll be able to give you an all clear in a matter of moments if you're in Beatrice, but especially if you're near Hines Farm, the community of Riley, McWilliams, you need to be sheltered. Same thing in eastern Wilcox County near Pineapple. Go ahead and get in that tornado safe place if you haven't been there yet, and stay there until we give you the all clear. Yeah, those little storms approaching U.S. Highway 84 in the southern part of Monroe County near the Alabama River, the lightning output on those has gone up. And so that tells me these storms are also beginning to strengthen. And so we'll have to watch those because those could be your next storms to produce tornado warnings downwind of this, potentially kind of in the same areas here in northern Monroe County. So we're going to have to watch those over the next little bit. Nasty storms about to come into areas near Sweetwater and also near Aimwell. You've also got Morven, Nanophilia, also areas near Campbell and Coffeyville, also in Milry. Damaging straight line winds possible in Milry imminently. A severe thunderstorm warning technically remains in effect, although I suspect with this signature it's weakening, and so the Weather Service may let that go. The strongest storm in the whole state right now is clearly this in northern Monroe County. Possible tornado is at the intersection or near the intersection of Alabama Highway 41 and Alabama Highway 21, I should say, and also Alabama Highway 47, which is this road right here. If you live within 5 miles of that intersection, you need to be in a safe place now. Possible tornado is on your doorstep. All right, let me check a few feeds here to see what the Weather Service is saying Current time is 2:23 a.m. I don't see any updates from the Weather Service. I do see that we've got Jason Beeman. He's the meteorologist in charge. He's the boss at NWS Mobile, and he is working our NWS chat feed, and so we certainly appreciate that. He is on staff down at the Mobile office. They're the ones who issue these wonderful tornado warnings, giving folks lead time and saving lives in the process. And so, middle of the night, tracking a possible tornado in Monroe County. This is some good news. Let's go ahead and give some all clears out. This is not an all clear for the whole night, but this is an all clear from this specific storm. And if you are in Scratch Ankle or areas near Franklin or Tunnel Springs, we'll give you an all clear. The tornado warning for those areas is done as the storm has moved to the northeast. And so again, we're calling an all clear for areas near Tunnel Springs, Peterman, and Scratch Ankle, previously included in the tornado warning, but now the storm is to the northeast. And if you're in Beatrice specifically, we will be able to give you an all clear in about 2 to 3 more minutes. I want to give this plenty of space in an environment like this. That is a very tight circulation right in through here. And again, very near the intersection of Alabama Highway 21 and Alabama Highway 47, right there at what we call Riley Crossroads. There is an intersection right here where 83 comes into 47 at Midway. If you live north of that intersection in Monroe County, you are involved in this tornado warning in that part of Monroe County. Very rural part of the world, but nonetheless, we know there's a lot of folks who live out here. And so that is why we do what we do even in the middle of the night. And I see we've got a new tornado warning. Actually, you know what? That's going to be a repost from earlier of this initial tornado warning. So the Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning for northern Monroe County for the next few minutes. We're going to have to see if they're going to extend this. I suspect they will. With a look like that, that is a strong indication of a tornado. And I suspect that we are going to get a new tornado warning for parts of Butler County. I would bet that it's going to look something like this. Now again, I'm not a NWS meteorologist issuing the warnings, but in that general area is probably what we're looking at. And you know what? This thing may be kind of veering to the right a little bit. Let's look at this. Because sometimes you can get these supercell storms that veer to the right. And I tell you, that thing has veered to the right a little bit. So with that said, it may be a situation where the Weather Service is forced to include parts of Conecuh County, the far northern part of Conecuh County. And so we'll see very shortly if they choose to issue a new tornado warning, and I suspect that is coming in just a little bit. But again, the call to action is far northeastern Monroe County. Years and years ago, I can't remember the exact year, but there was an EF4 tornado in this part of Monroe County. And I'm not saying this is an EF4 tornado, it probably isn't. But this area has had a history with tornadoes. And so this is a supercell storm that has formed out ahead of the main line of storms, pushing just like that to the northeast. And so again, everyone in Old Texas, Midway, McWilliams, stay sheltered. Here's the good news. Let's give Beatrice an all clear. So again, we are calling all clear at the moment anyway for Beatrice proper. If you're in Beatrice, you can come out of your tornado hiding place for now, as the circulation has now clearly passed you to the northeast. And it's really very near Hines Farm and Midway right now. Again, this thing appears to be kind of veering to the right, and that may put Old Texas right in the crosshairs, a community right there in northeastern Monroe County. And I tell you what, they're going to have to do something shortly about this warning, because this one is about to expire at 2:30. And so I suspect what they're doing, the Weather Service, I would bet they are seeing which counties they want to include. They may be taking this right to the last moment to see if they want to include the far northern part of Conecuh. This would be out towards Skinnerton and also Mixonville and Commerce, but Butler County is almost a lock at this point. Same thing for far eastern Wilcox to get a new warning in the next few moments. And there it is. All right, we got a new tornado warning to tell you about. This is a new tornado warning, and this is going to include parts of Butler County. You're hearing it come on in the background. I can see it. It hasn't popped up on the monitor yet, but it will. This is going to include Greenville. And so possible tornado, there it is, in Monroe County is going to come toward Greenville. This thing has veered to the right a little bit, and we're encouraging everyone in northern Butler County to now implement the safe place from this supercell tornado. And again, this is going to come out towards Butler Springs and basically parallel Alabama Highway 10 in some capacity. So again, tornado warning now for parts of northern Butler County in south central Alabama. This cell, unfortunately, is going to be in a zone where it really is primed to produce a tornado. So Greenville, Forest Home, areas near Chapman, Fort Dale, you need to be in a safe place now as we have a possible tornado in northern Monroe County coming in from the west. You need to go ahead and get sheltered now at Greenville as we have this moving in at about, I think it's moving at about 40 miles an hour. Let's check. Yeah, 39 miles an hour. So basically 40 miles an hour coming towards Greenville, a possible tornado. And this thing it's holding on, and that's what we expected tonight. And so, again, calling northern Butler County into a tornado warning. The good news is this does not include any part of Conecuh County. So Conecuh County is okay right now. This does include far southeastern Wilcox County. Areas near Pineapple and McWilliams are still involved, but you can see that Beatrice is now out. So Beatrice, we're giving you an all clear for now. You may have more storms later. Let's check on these other storms back here near the Alabama River. Yeah, they're just weak, and they still are producing quite a bit of lightning. But at this point, we do not see anything in the way of a tornado, anyway, in those two storms further to the southeast. Main line of storms is coming through Milry right now. This is West Alabama. Once this line of storms comes through your location, we'll be able to give you an all clear. Right now, we certainly can't do that, as this is an environment that's incredibly productive potentially for tornadoes. And the good news is this line back in West Alabama remains fairly weak. We don't see any evidence of tornadoes in the main line at this moment, but we're going to have to watch it as it comes off to the east and comes into an environment that is more conducive for tornado development. Again, we are here because of this. This is an active tornado warning for the northern part of Butler and far northeastern Monroe County. Let me stress, if you're just now waking up by chance at Monroeville, Excel, Frisco City, you are not involved in a warning. But if you're near Greenville, you are involved, and we need you to take shelter now as we have this possible tornado very near Old Texas coming into Butler County very shortly. And Luke, just let me know if you see any comments. And again, we are at 2:33 in the morning. Possible tornado is very near Old Texas right now. This is Alabama Highway 47, and the circulation is right here. So this is moving basically just like this. There's a chance that this misses Greenville to the west, but I can't rule that out at this point. And we need folks in Greenville to go ahead and get sheltered now, as we have this possible tornado moving basically east-northeast. And if you're in Forest Home, you need to go ahead and get to your tornado safe plan now, safe place I should say, as this circulation continues to turn to the right. And I tell you, with a track like that, it could end up potentially right over Greenville, as this thing has moved from Scratch Ankle to Beatrice, and it's kind of veering just like that. And so there is a range of outcomes. It could veer back to the north, or it could veer a little bit more. And so again, that puts places like Greenville, Fort Dale, and areas near Forest Home, which is right here, in the danger zone. And so we're encouraging everyone in northern Butler County to be in a tornado-safe place. What does that look like? Let's go over to our graphics for the folks that specifically are in Greenville and also northern Butler County. You want to get underground if you can. If you're just now waking up in northern Butler County, this is what you need to be doing. If you have a helmet, a tornado helmet, we hope that you do, because that's something that we push very heavily around here. Go ahead and put it on. That's for adults and for children. And again, this is for northern Butler County. Let's go back over to LD1, please, sir. And we'll show you the storm as it stands now. Again, this is an isolated supercell that has developed, it continues to develop really, producing a lot of lightning near Pineapple and also near Midway and also areas near McWilliams. But again, the concern is on the back flank of this, where there could be a possible tornado. Again, this is Butler County, Alabama. The warning is in effect until 3:15 a.m. So we got about 45 more minutes on this. And again, this is Butler County. The circulation has not gotten to Butler County yet. It's about, 5 or 10 minutes out, and it's moving like that. So it's going to be very near Alabama Highway 10 over the next few moments. And so this is important. If you know someone that would be traveling on Alabama Highway 10 from, say, Camden over to Luverne, absolutely no travel right now on Alabama Highway 10 from Camden all the way back over to Luverne, because we've got all of Butler County involved, all of northern Butler County involved in this active tornado warning. And again, I'm not seeing anything in the way of damage, but let me caution, this is the middle of the night. It's very, very tough to get damage reports, especially in a more rural area like this when we have a storm coming through. And so we're encouraging everyone, please heed these warnings, as this is an environment that is primed for tornado development. This is the only, this is the only warning we've got in the whole state right now. And this is one lone supercell storm. That's not what you want to see. I'll just tell you, that is not at all what you want to see. You don't want to see a storm by itself, because like people, sometimes when storms are alone for too long, they start misbehaving. And that's exactly what we've got going on in northeastern Monroe. Let's get real tight into the circulation. I mean, that thing is right over Old Texas at this point, coming into Butler County over the next few moments. It may clip the far southeastern part of Wilcox County here near Awen, but really this is going to be an issue for Butler County, the northern half of Butler County, over the next few minutes. If you are in Georgiana or McKenzie, this has nothing to do with you, all right? So Georgiana and McKenzie, you are fine right now. Same thing at Okie Streak, at Pigeon Creek, also areas near Garland, Grace, Starlington. You're fine right now. This is specifically for the northern part of Butler County, including areas near Greenville. You are under the gun from a possible tornado. And again, the Weather Service continues to indicate that this is the zone right in through here, this far northeastern corner of Monroe County, where we could see a developing tornado. Let's go back to West Alabama and also Southeast Mississippi. Good news is I don't see really much in this main line of storms. I note that the Weather Service has let the severe thunderstorm warning go, and so there is no more severe thunderstorm warning in place for West Alabama. So that is really, really great news, as this line of storms is a bit weaker than we thought. So that is excellent news. The only warning in the whole state of Alabama right now, tornado warning for far northern Monroe and also southeastern Wilcox and the northern half of Butler County. Again, for folks in Forest Home, you need to be implementing that tornado safety plan now. Forest Home is right here. A lot of chicken houses in through here. This is mostly forest and chicken houses out here in eastern Butler County. And I know some folks in Forest Home. I'm going to text them right now. Practice what we preach. It's so important that we get these warnings out. And again, just texting our folks in Forest Home there. Also, the community of Providence technically is included in this tornado warning, but with a look like this, this is going to pass to the north of Providence, I can tell you. Just looking at this, here's your circulation here. And again, even if this thing were to turn due east, it would do like that. But really, it's moving more like this. So again, Providence, also areas near Chapman and Halsey Mill, this is not going to affect you. So you're in good shape in those communities. This is going to be an issue for areas near Butler Springs and Forest Home over the next few minutes. And again, for folks in those wonderful communities, we need you to be sheltered now. I realize it's never convenient to have a tornado warning, but especially at 2:40 a.m., this is tough. And I know it's tough to wake the kids up, but you got to do it. Putting the tornado helmets on and getting to a safe place. This right here is Alabama Highway 10. I'm going to draw it right there. That's 10. This is Alabama Highway 47 right here. And if you live near the intersection of Alabama Highway 47 and Alabama Highway 10, we need you to be in a safe place. That is very near Pineapple. So Pineapple, Alabama, it looks like the tornado is going to pass just to your south. This is going to really clip the far southeastern corner of Wilcox County and go into Butler County, but it looks like this is going to spare Pineapple. I can give you an all clear in Oak Hill. Oak Hill was previously included in the tornado warning, but Oak Hill is out. So if you're in Oak Hill, Alabama specifically, we can give you an all clear. Again, we did it earlier for Beatrice, but if you're just now tuning in, all clear for Beatrice. I have heard of no reports of damage so far, but that doesn't mean that damage hasn't happened. The first light of day may reveal even more damage with trees down and that sort of thing. Luke, are you seeing anything over there? Okay. Let me see what this is. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is a new message I just got from them. And this is going to be an updated mesoscale discussion. They are monitoring for a new tornado watch downstream. So what that means is, in addition to the storms we're tracking now, SPC is considering a tornado watch for this general area. And this would be the zone where, if storms are going to maximize, this is where they would do it. So a new tornado watch may be incoming for parts of southeast Alabama, east Alabama, and maybe extending into parts of the Florida Panhandle and northwest Florida. But we'll see what they do with that. Let's go into these other storms briefly in western Monroe. Yeah, they're just weak. So yes, you're hearing some thunder at Purdue Hill. This is Purdue Hill. Such an interesting little community right there on top of the hill. You got the post office, the Chevron. There's a carpet store, I believe. You've also got down the hill the ARC paper mill there at Claiborne. This is just a general thunderstorm, so you have nothing to worry about right now at Purdue Hill. Same thing down here at Uri and Aliska and Chrysler. Yes, you may hear some thunder with this little storm, but Quite frankly, its bark is worse than its bite. The big storm, I mean, you can just clearly see, look at how big the Supercell storm is that we're tracking versus those two storms near Purdue Hill and Uri. Very small compared to very, very big. So that's why we have this ongoing tornado warning. And the Weather Service is noting that the circulation has broadened out somewhat, and it may be falling apart a bit. But with an environment like this, possible tornadoes still could be ongoing in northeastern Monroe. And I tell you, with that latest signature, I believe that's more of a de-aliasing failure, which means that's just kind of the radar looking a little different. I don't think it actually strengthened on that scan. But nonetheless, there is circulation here, no doubt about it, at the triple point of Wilcox, this is Butler, and this is Monroe County. So at the triple point of those counties near the community of Awin, right into Forest Home is the next target, unfortunately, for this tornado warning. And possible tornado is near the triple point. It's going to come into Forest Home over the next little bit, this broad rotation area at this point. And again, could it be producing a tornado? Yes. Is it at this point? It's questionable. The signature is a little bit weaker than it once was a few minutes ago when the thing was near Beatrice. In fact, let's look at this and let me just see how this circulation has progressed. When it was warned at about 1:53 a.m., the circulation was pretty tight at Scratch Ankle, but we'll advance this forward and you can see it really got tight near Beatrice, and what that means, it very well could have been producing a tornado. But you can see as it's moved to the east, yes, there's definitely still some rotation there, but it's you don't see those darker and brighter colors kind of coming together to indicate a strong signature of a tornado. And so I suspect the Weather Service is going to continue this tornado warning with an environment like what we're in for the next little bit. But this is all good news because there's a chance that NWS Mobile might choose to cancel the tornado warning before the 3:15 expiration. That would be a blessing, and we'll be able to give you an all clear. Hey, speaking of all clear, let's do that. If you are near Midway or areas near Hines Farm or Riley, we'll give you an all clear. So Riley, Hines Farm, and Midway, all clear for you from this storm. Stay sheltered in Old Texas for the next 2 minutes and I'll be able to give you an all clear. Can't do that just yet. And certainly stay sheltered if you're at Forest Home. You are in the crosshairs from this thing at Forest Home. This is a strong indication of a tornado at this point. It looks like, quite frankly, the signature has ramped back up a bit on that last volume scan. And so with that said, I suspect the Weather Service will continue the tornado warning. So again, it can't be stressed enough. Forest Home, be in your safe place. Monterey, Butler Springs, this is out here in the western part of Butler County, coming into Greenville potentially in about 10 to 15 minutes. Are you seeing anything in the way of comments there or damage reports? No? And I didn't think so. In the middle of the night, again, it's very, very tough. It is just very tough to do severe weather coverage and get live reports because so many folks are sleeping. You would be shocked how many people don't have a way to hear urgent weather warnings in the middle of the night. Of course, if you're watching us, you do, and we appreciate you joining us. Current time is now 2:47 in the morning. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Luke McKinnish. We're grateful for him being here tonight as we track a possible tornado coming into Forest Home. Small community in western Butler County. If you know someone at Forest Home, you call them now and wake them up because we could have a tornado in that general area over the next few minutes. The signature is ramped up. So it's ramped up over the last few moments. It kind of ramped down and now it's coming back. And so we've got to watch this as it comes into Forest Home, as this could be potentially producing a tornado. And on this trajectory, it could be an issue potentially for Greenville or maybe areas out near Fort Dale on the north side of town in the next little bit. you what, let me switch over to the Montgomery radar, Maxwell Air Force Base, and yeah, that thing, it's there, no doubt about it. There's your circulation. It's about to be on top of Forest Home in the next few moments. And I'm actually talking to some folks in Forest Home right now. They are sheltered as they should be, and I'm glad they are, as this is now a strengthening tornado signature. And this is coming into Forest Home over the next few moments. Getting a report from Forest Home live on the ground that there's a lot of lightning in the area. So a lot of lightning, and I certainly believe it. If you look at your strike counter up here, we're at 422. That's a lot of lightning in the last 10 minutes just from this one storm. And right here, this is now fully in Butler County. And so what this means, if you are in Monroe County, will give you an all clear. So Monroe County, all clear. Old Texas, Midway, Hughes, Hines Farm. Also areas near McWilliams, we can give you an all clear. The tornado threat in those specific communities has come to an end. And again, we are giving an all clear to all parts at this point of Monroe County. And it's easy to see why. The circulation has clearly moved into Butler County. If you're in Pineapple, let's go into the storm. Pineapple is here, and the circulation is now over here in Butler County. So we can give an all clear to Pineapple, Alabama, which is in eastern Wilcox County. So again, an all clear for Pineapple as the cell has now moved into Butler. I mean, this is going to be right at Forest Home in a matter of moments. I have a video that has just come in from Forest Home. And Luke, I tell you what, I'm going to swing back around you. Let's see if we can show this video. I realize it's kind of a novelty to be able to get videos in the middle of the night, but let me see if I can pull this up, because this is, it doesn't get better than a video of showing exactly what happens on the ground instead of just showing radar all night. Let me kill the sound on that. And let's see if we can. All right, go ahead and take the graphics full. This is a near live view of, all right, you can go back to LD1. Sorry about that. That was a live global satellite, by the way. So let me get that video up and show you this live view of what is happening in Forest Home. Quite frankly, this is a lot of lightning is what I'm seeing. And let's see if we can get that video up. All right, there you go. Take the graphics full, and I'll go ahead and play that. We're watching this together. Again, I do not see a tornado in the video, but this is a good example of what's happening with this supercell storm. Thanks to Jackie Thompson, by the way, for sending in this video as we have a possible tornado at Forest Home. And you can kind of see at the tail end of that video some gnarly looking clouds coming in from the southwest, I presume, with this storm. Tell you what, let's go back over to LD1 now that we've seen kind of a live view of what's happening in Forest Home. Nasty storm could be producing a tornado at Forest Home in Butler County right now. And I realize for folks that are watching in Pineapple, you may be thinking, well, Spinks, how in the world can you give me an all clear in this nasty weather? Well, Yes, the weather is absolutely horrible right now in Pineapple and areas just to the east of Oak Hill in Wilcox County. But the lightning is not what makes a storm severe. There is no indication of a tornado at this point in eastern Wilcox County. The threat has clearly moved into Butler County, and it's basically at Forest Home now, moving just like that. So on that trajectory, it could be an issue in a little bit for areas near Fort Dale and areas out near the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. I can't remember. I think it's Cambrian Ridge is the name of that one. There's so many Robert Trent Jones golf trails across the great state of Alabama, but that one is Cambrian Ridge. And the Weather Service is now noting that this circulation has strengthened a little bit. So it's strengthened back up, and this is coming right into Forest Home. So let's go ahead and zoom in tight. Possible tornado is at Forest Home now. It's going to be at a community called Manningham in just a few minutes. And again, this is very, very northwest corner of Butler County. This is outside of Greenville by about 10 to 15 miles. But again, the call to action, Manningham, Forest Home, areas near Fort Dale and Greenville. You are involved in this active tornado warning. I can tell you safely that if you're in Providence or areas near Chapman or Houso Mill, this is clearly going to pass to your north. So Providence, Chapman, which is right here, Houso Mill, Okie Streak, which is right in through here as well, you're all clear. The threat is clearly in the northern part of Butler County, and this is a nasty storm for Wilcox County. I realize that. For folks that may be watching in eastern Wilcox, yes, the weather is bad, but the tornado threat is now clearly into Butler County. And I would tell you this as well, northern Monroe County, you are now out of the tornado threat. I realize this polygon still technically includes eastern Wilcox and also far northeastern Monroe County, but the threat has clearly shifted, and this is now in Butler County at Forest Home. Coming up on 3 a.m. here in South Alabama, and at the top of the hour, we'll do a reset because I see that we've got thunderstorms coming into Thomasville and also areas near Grove Hill, Jackson, Leroy, Zimco, McIntyre, and also Chatham. This is your main line of storms. It looks a little wonky because this is the Montgomery radar. I'll change back to the Mobile one in just a moment, but the Weather Service is now watching this from the Montgomery radar as well. They can watch from any of the NextRad sites from across the country. Our local views come from Mobile, Fort Rucker, Maxwell Air Force Base, and also Eglin Air Force Base. So those are the local radars. This is coming from Maxwell, from Montgomery. And I haven't seen an update on velocity. If you'll, that other computer, the middle one right there, if you'll wiggle the mouse and let me see what's on that screen so that if you'll, yeah, thank you so much. Tell you what, let's show a whole view across the region. That's coming from Mobile. So if you'll take LD3 full, please, thank you. This kind of shows exactly what brought us here. It was that initial issuance of a tornado warning. And some good news to pass along, just getting this in, the Weather Service has officially now canceled the tornado warning for eastern Wilcox and northern Monroe. So take me back over real quick to LD1, and I'll come back to that in a second. Possible tornado is at Forest Home, and it's coming up towards Manningham and Fort Dale. This is northern Butler County. We can safely say now that this tornado is going to pass to the north of Greenville. So here's Greenville. I realize you've probably been in your tornado safe place in Greenville for the last little bit, but we can now give you a tornado all clear in Greenville as this thing is coming out towards Fort Dale and ultimately potentially near Fort Deposit and I-65. Of course, that is exit 142. The famous Priester's exit, Priester's Pecans, is at exit 142. Right now, not involved in a tornado warning. Exit 130 on the north side of Greenville technically is involved. Basically, from that interstate exit and the Walmart right there at Greenville, back up to the north, up up the highway there into Lowndes County near Fort Dale, those areas are involved in this active tornado warning. And so this is exactly what we're seeing. Let's go back over to LD3, please, sir. Show you kind of a wide view across the region. And while we do that, I want to change my radar site back to Mobile. There we go. And again, tracking a possible tornado in far northern Butler County near Fort Dale, about to come out towards Manningham and also Monroe over the next few minutes. All right, let's go back over to LD1. I want to work the main line of storms and some good news. I'll give you an all clear for some communities in West Alabama. This is the worst of the weather of the day in Thomasville. So again, this is the worst of the weather, and quite frankly, this line is benign. That's what we like to see. We do not see anything in the way of evidence for tornadoes in this main line of thunderstorms. I tell you what, 5 days makes a big difference, because 5 days ago we had a line of storms that was producing tornadoes. And for those of you that are watching tonight, we had 10 tornadoes the other night. 10 confirmed tornadoes, along with several paths of straight line wind damage across the region. And it was a significant weather event. But what we've got now is a little bit different. This is a cell that has developed out ahead of the main line of thunderstorms, but the main line of thunderstorms is quite weak, and so that's good news. I do see there's a severe thunderstorm warning down in Louisiana. I'll show you that. That includes areas near Slidell and Lake Pontchartrain. We'll let New Orleans deal with that. Main line of storms coming through Chatham, also areas near Grove Hill, Fulton, Dickinson, Rural, also Sand Flat, Springfield, Thomasville, and Sunny South. This is the worst of the weather for you. All right, let's give some final all clears. Yes, indeed, we can give you some all clears now that the main line of storms has come through your location. Always a joy to be able to do that. If you are in Milry, Alabama, you get an all clear for the night. Go to bed. Same thing at Coffeyville. Same thing at Campbell, Morven. We can give an all clear to Sweetwater and all of Choctaw County. Here's Choctaw County, Alabama, and we can give you an all clear if you're in Choctaw County specifically. And so great news for West Alabama, and also for areas in Marengo County to the west of US Highway 43. We'll give you an all clear. So behind the main line, you get an all clear. I see we've got a new tornado warning. This is a new tornado warning coming on the board, and this is going to be for parts of Lowndes County. So this is a continuation of the storm we have been tracking, and it's this same cell that has now moved past Forest Home, and it's near Manningham, coming up on Fort Deposit. And I alluded to the fact just a second ago that exit 142, which is the Priester's exit right there, I think it's branded as Fort Deposit Logan. That exit is now under an active tornado warning. Possible tornado is here, and it's going to move just like that. So on that trajectory, that's going to be in Fort Deposit in a matter of minutes. So areas near Priester's and Fort Deposit, you need to be in a safe place now. Possible tornado coming in. If you're at Fort Dale, just to the north of Greenville, you are involved in this possible tornado situation. Tornado warning for you, and your tornado is here, about 5 or so miles away to the west of Fort Dale. And great news for Greenville, this thing is going to pass you to the north. We can say with certainty now, as the circulation is in far northern Butler County, about to be very near Fort Dale in a matter of moments. I have not been in that part of Butler County in a bit, but I used to take Highway 263. By the way, this is Highway 263 that runs from Greenville up to a little community right here called Pleasant Home. And 263 is in the crosshairs of this possible tornado. So areas near the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, areas near Alabama Highway 263, which runs from Greenville up to Pleasant Hill, I said Pleasant Hill, it's Pleasant Home, be in a safe place. And again, that's going to cross the line and get into Lowndes County in a matter of about 5 minutes. And so on this trajectory, this is going to be very near that exit that I've been talking so much about, exit 142. And this is going to be out of our area and into Lowndes County over the next little bit. Pretty nasty storm still. Take me back over to LD3, please, sir. And I want to switch my radar that I'm looking at to the Montgomery radar, and we'll look at this. All right, back over to LD1. The circulation is much more robust on the Montgomery radar as that's getting closer to the Montgomery area. And your possible tornado is here, and it's going to move just like that. So odds are this misses Greenville, very high odds, to the north. This is going to cross 263 north of the split where it goes off to Fort Dale right there. So very near there, about 2 or 3 miles to the north, but this is going to move just like this toward Fort Deposit. And this is the only warning. Let me zoom out and see the whole state. Yeah, this is the only warning that we've got in all of Alabama. Here's the whole state. There are a few warnings up around Chattanooga, Tennessee, and those are severe thunderstorm warnings, but you can see here's your main line of storms, and this is your supercell storm, just a nasty little storm that's developed out ahead of this main line. And I tell you what, if that's producing a tornado, it could be a strong tornado. There's clear inflow from the south, and you see this kind of looks like a hook echo. So that would be your circulation, and your tornado would be right in through here. And it's about to cross, again, out of our area into Lowndes County. Look at that. There's a bounded weak echo region. Kind of a nerd term, but right in through here, that could be a tornado doing damage. And let me check our debris tracker just to see. Good news is I don't see debris being lofted. There still could be a tornado down, but we don't have a debris signature at this point. But we do have very, very clear evidence of a possible tornado approaching Alabama Highway 263 to the north of Greenville. Again, this storm is clearly going to pass safely to the north of Greenville. And this is for the far northern part of Butler County. If you're in McKenzie, Georgiana, Chapman, even Greenville at this point, this is well to your north. All right, well to your north, and it's going to remain well to your north, but a nasty supercell storm. This is exactly what we were concerned about, and unfortunately it is happening. This is probably going to be a storm that lasts as well, and so please understand this circulation is moving about like that. So with that said, we probably will see another tornado warning coming for parts of far northern Crenshaw and also southern Montgomery County. I think this misses the city of Montgomery to the south, but southern Montgomery County is going to be in the crosshairs from this, and if it holds its strength, it could get into Bullock and Macon counties as well. So just wanted you to be aware of that. This is a nasty storm. It's going to last a long time. Lots of lightning with this storm. Probably have some hail in here as well that's crossed into Lowndes County. And the Weather Service has trimmed back the tornado warning. So we can now give an all clear to areas back here near Butler Springs and Forest Home. Monterey as well, all clear for Forest Home and Butler Springs, all clear. We're tracking this supercell storm until it crosses out of Butler County and gets into Lowndes County. And I would bet in about 10 minutes we will be done with this in Butler County, and I'll be able to give you a total all clear. I can't do that just yet. Still have a possible tornado in northern Butler, but we're getting close. And let's tell you what, let's kind of do a wide view across the region, and I'll switch back to the Mobile radar. It is now 3:08 a.m. and we have storms in progress across the region as expected, and unfortunately, we've had at least one tornado-warned storm over the last hour. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, joined alongside Luke McInnish. He's with me this evening, or this morning, I should say, as we get into the very early morning hours of your Monday. Obviously, it's never good to be here in the middle of the night with tornadoes, but we're going to be with you every step of the way until this gets out of our area in the next few minutes. And I'm getting word from our friends at the National Weather Service that a new tornado watch is about to be issued. So let me show you the wide view across the region. So in just a few moments, we're going to get a new tornado watch, and that's going to include areas over in southeast Alabama. So a new tornado watch coming in just a little bit for more counties across our region. I am not sure if that's going to include Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, and Northwest Florida, but we will see over the next little bit what the Storm Prediction Center decides to do. Let's go into Monroe County here because we're almost done with this possible tornado in Butler. It's about to cross into Lowndes County and get up into Fort Deposit. Butler County belongs to us. Lowndes County does not. And so once this crosses out of our area and into Lowndes, we'll be able to kind of shift gears a bit and watch this main line of storms a little bit more intently. But I did want to zoom into Monroe County because you're hearing a lot of lightning in the storm near Excel. This is a nasty little storm that's producing a lot of lightning. And I say nasty, it's below severe limits at this point, thankfully. But you're going to have some downpours and lots of lightning over the next few minutes. You also have a storm near Tunnel Springs. That one is well under severe limits. There also are storms firing near McCullough, Huxford, and Boonville. Those are well under severe limits. Let me check these other. Yeah, these are just showers in Northwest Florida right now. Same thing around Mobile Bay. Main line of storms is below severe limits, and that's what we like to see. Yes, there could be some embedded brief gusts of wind, but right now the line of storms is below severe limits, and so hopefully it will stay that way and we won't have any more embedded tornadoes like what we had the other night. All right, let's zoom out and show you. We have our new tornado watch, so it's now on the board, and this is going to include everyone. So we now have a tornado watch that has just been issued, and that is in effect until 9 a.m. Now, it's not going to last that long, nowhere close most likely, but the Weather Service has opted to go ahead and issue a new tornado watch for everyone else that wasn't previously included in a tornado watch. And what that means, you're hearing that come on the board now, what that means is that the atmosphere is still primed and ready for tornado development. And so again, just a few seconds ago, you see we had several counties that were not involved. Now, there's your new tornado watch. So just be ready for possible warnings over the next few hours. Let's go back into our storm here in far northern Butler because this is about to clear into Lowndes County. If there's a tornado down, it's very near 263 right now and about to cross into Lowndes County. And in fact, with that latest volume scan, the core of the rotation has moved very near the county line between far northern Butler and Lowndes County in central Alabama. So again, Fort Deposit, areas near Priesters, be in your safe place. Lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. You want to grab a helmet, something to protect your head. That's the most important thing. That's for adults and for kids. Also have the pets with you in your tornado safe place. Very important that we all take action if you are in Fort Deposit at this point. Let me go back into our storm in Monroe County. There's broad rotation with this, and this is kind of a similar pattern to what we saw go back over to LD3, please. Kind of a similar thing to what we saw with this leading supercell that's now exiting out of Butler and going into Lowndes County. And so we're going to have to watch this little storm that's south of Monroeville. I don't think it poses a problem over the next few minutes, but In about an hour's time, this thing could ramp up to be a supercell itself once it gets into potentially Conecuh or even into parts of southern Butler County. And so the night is far from over. This was probably the first storm of what could be several over the next several hours. Coming up on 3:15 a.m., and I believe the weather, let's go back over to LD1. I believe the Weather Service is going to just let this go at 3:15. And so we've got about a minute and 15 seconds left on this tornado warning. And once this warning expires in northern Butler, we will officially be done with this storm in terms of our coverage anyway, and pass it off to the good folks in Montgomery who take care of Lowndes County. Of course, you've got WAKA in Montgomery or WSFA. Those are the two main stations up there in that market that serve that part of Alabama. So about 45 more seconds on our tornado warning. We'll come back to that in just a second. Here's your leading edge of the storms for the night. And here's some good news. If you are in Thomasville, Alabama, we can give Thomasville, Alabama an all clear. You are now done with severe weather for the whole night. The tornado threat has ended at Thomasville and will give you an all clear. We can also do that for areas near Coffeyville, Milry, also areas near Toxie and Gilbertown. You get an all clear as the main line of thunderstorms has passed through your location. And once this main line comes through your location just like that, you will get an all clear. But we can't do that just yet for anybody out ahead of the main line of storms. All right, it is now 3:15 in the morning. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside Luke McKinnish, and we have just wrapped a tornado warning for Butler County. So let's go back into Butler, and we'll show you that this cell has now moved into southern Lowndes County. And you've got a lot of lightning and clearly evidence of rotation right in through here, just to the north of Fort Dale, just to the southwest of Fort Deposit. And that thing is going to be in Fort Deposit in a matter of moments. And so it can't be stressed enough for areas near Fort Deposit. Anybody that lives in that part of Lowndes County, you need to be sheltered. Butler County, you get an all clear, for now anyway. The imminent tornado threat at Butler County has come to a close. Have a way to hear more warnings. There may be more later. And Luke, I tell you what, it looks like this cell that's near Excel in Monroe County, this thing is really ramping up, and I suspect that could be our next problem cell. All right, we technically now have a new tornado warning. All right, what they're doing here, this is a new tornado warning, and technically the Weather Service is issuing a new one for this cell that has kind of built back to the south, if you will, kind of turned to the east. And what they're doing is warning the far northern part of Butler County. I mean, this is a very, very small sliver that's only about 2 miles wide in far northern Butler. But the circulation kind of veered to the right there at the last minute as the last warning was expiring. And so NWS Mobile opted to go ahead and issue a tornado warning just as a course of least regret. So there's your possible tornado on the Lowndes-Butler County line, and Fort Deposit is going to be the main community involved with this. This is basically going to straddle the line between Butler and Lowndes County, and it's going to be right at exit 142 in, say, 5 minutes. So no travel right now is advised from areas near Montgomery back down to Greenville for the next, let's give it 30 minutes just to be safe. So if by chance, for some reason, you are traveling on Interstate 65 between Montgomery and Greenville, you need to pull off and wait until this possible tornado passes through. Could have a tornado coming into areas near exit 142, which is the Fort Deposit Logan exit, better known as the Priesters exit. Right there on Interstate 65 in Lowndes County. This thing is right on the county line. And NWS Mobile did the course of least regret on a night like tonight with the environment like what we're seeing. They did the right thing and went ahead and issued a tornado warning for that specific part of far northern Butler County. This has nothing to do with you if you're at Greenville. Nothing to do with you if you are in the southern part of the county near Chapman or areas near Georgiana or McKenzie. This is way up here in the northern part of Butler County, specifically at a tiny community called Fort Dale, and again, Fort Deposit is in Lowndes County, of course. And that right there could be a tornado. Now, I realize it doesn't look like much, but with these bright colors, that tells me that the winds are twisting in through there, and there could be a tornado doing damage at this point. So there's the classic reflectivity view. This is what most of you know as traditional radar. Luke, if you'll go back over, please, to LD3, I want to take a look from Montgomery. Again, it's not that we're ignoring you. If you're in other parts of our local coverage area, this is kind of the wide view across the region. But we have to focus on who is in the danger zone. And when you're in the danger zone, we'll give you the same courtesy. But this is the main thing that we've got going on. It's this tornado warning in far northern Butler and now southern Lowndes County. And let me check. Yeah, this is still the only warning that we've got in the whole state. Only tornado warning. This is the only weather warning we've got in the whole state other than the freeze warning in effect for tomorrow night. This is an active tornado warning for parts of southern Lowndes and far northern Butler County. Again, no travel, if you're just now joining us, no travel as of 3:20 a.m. From Montgomery to Greenville on US 31 or Interstate 65. You can't be traveling, as you might be traveling into a sizable tornado very near Fort Deposit over the next few moments. And that thing is right on the county line. Let's go back to LD1, please. And I mean, this is right on the county line at this point at Fort Deposit and Butler County, right there at the line. The county line is just south of Priesters by about half a mile. I mean, it's not far at all. And so if by chance you're on the interstate, get off at 142 and get in one of those gas stations. I think there's a Chevron right there on the west side, and then there's another gas station on the other side of the interstate. But if by chance you're catching this at the last minute, pull off and get in one of those gas stations or a convenience store if you're on I-65. If you're on US 31, just pull over and get to a convenience store if you can, if there's one open at this insane hour of 3 a.m., 3:21 in the morning. You're looking at radar data from Montgomery. Let me zoom out and go back to our storm here in Monroe County. This is not an active tornado warning, but I tell you what, goodness, that is suspicious. So I need to put you on notice. If you are in Conecuh County, this could be a developing storm that could produce a tornado in about 15 or 30 minutes near Burnt Corn. So Burnt Corn and Lieffian, and also areas potentially near Belleville and Nichburg. Right in through here, I'm observing rotation and it's moving like that. Again, supercell storm in development, and possible tornado may end up kind of get going in Conecuh County, specifically near and north of Evergreen. So just putting you on notice, we don't have a tornado warning for Conecuh County. We don't at this point at 3:22 a.m. But I'm just telling you, with a storm like this, there is rotation. I see it on radar. We're going to have to watch that one as well. Let's go back to our storm in Butler County, and the Weather Service indicates that this has moved into Lowndes County at this point. And so even though technically there's this tornado warning for the next 7 minutes until 3:30 in the morning for far northern Butler, this is now exclusively an issue for Lowndes County. If there's a tornado down, it's happening at Fort Deposit. So hopefully there's not, but with a signature like this, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some potentially a tornado down due to the strong rotation that we are observing. And so we are going to shift gears now that this is north of Butler County, clearly into Lowndes County, and we're going to kind of explore the rest of the region that I haven't been able to talk about. All right, first thing to do, let's go down into northwest Florida, because the situation at hand, you've got spotty storms developing as of 3:23 a.m., but none of the storms are severe. That's all of northwest Florida. It does not matter where you are. Crestview, Pensacola, Milton, Pace. Spotty showers. Now you're under a tornado watch until technically 9 a.m. It'll end before that, but technically until 9 a.m. you got a tornado watch. Main line of storms is back in West Alabama. It has come through Thomasville. All clear for Thomasville. So all clear for Thomasville and for areas near Alabama Highway 154, near Chilton, back over to Coffeyville. All clear because those areas have gone through the storm, and now the line of storms has come through those locations, and we can safely give you an all clear. Same thing back here in northern Washington County. Chatham will give you an all clear. Milry will give you an all clear. Same thing at Frankville. Main line of storms is coming through Wagerville at this point, in Fruitdale. We need to watch this as it comes into Mobile County, but this is a totally different universe than the other night, because this is, quite frankly, weak. And that's what we want to see. It's weak, and it remains weak, and that's great news. The other night we had 10 confirmed tornadoes. This is not going to be that, most likely, with this squall line as this continues to move to the east. Northern part of the squall line in Clark also remains fairly weak. There's a lot of lightning, though. Don't get me wrong. These storms are loud and proud, but the good news is the squall line is weak. It's going to be these supercells that we've got to watch. And I tell you what, you never, ever, ever want to get in a situation where you're dealing with supercells in the middle of the night. We've already had one that's come through Monroe County. The warning is over for Monroe County and Wilcox County. We gave those areas an all clear about 30 minutes ago now. And specifically, we have this active tornado warning for Lowndes County. I realize technically that you still have this sliver of a polygon in place for parts of northern Butler, but it's over for Butler County, I can tell you. The cell has moved into Lowndes County, and we can officially give Butler County an all clear. So that cell is now out of our area into Lowndes County, and with that said, that leaves us with no active tornado warnings at the moment as of 3:26 a.m. I suspect that we will have more, and quite frankly, with what I'm seeing on radar, I wouldn't be shocked if the next warning is because of this. This is a storm that is rotating, and it's moving like this. So on that trajectory, this could be an issue for areas north of Evergreen up toward Georgiana and McKenzie. And if it holds its strength, it could be a problem for Chapman, Okie Streak, and Pigeon Creek as well. So just putting you on notice, no tornado warning now, but this is going to be the general zone that I'm watching out ahead of it, moving just like that. So if you know someone in those communities I called out, don't call them yet. There's no warning in effect, but be ready to call them as we are observing rotation, and I tell you what, it's getting stronger. That is the rotation that we're seeing, and basically it's at the community of Bermuda. I realize that for those of you watching that may not be from around here, a lot of people see that and think, oh, it's Bermuda. But no, it's pronounced Bermuda. And Bermuda is a community right there on the county line between Monroe and Conecuh County. And this possible tornado is going to basically split the difference between Repton and Bermuda. And I say possible tornado, this is not a tornado-warned storm as of 3:27 a.m. But I'm just telling you, with the trend of what we're seeing, we're going to keep our live coverage going because we're going to get another tornado warning if it keeps strengthening. So might as well keep going here, unfortunately, as we're watching a storm that could be producing a tornado in the next little bit for parts of Conecuh County. Specifically north of Evergreen. This is going to be north of 84. This could be an issue for areas near Alabama Highway 83 over the next little bit. And let me check the latest velocity there. That hasn't changed, but that's a developing supercell, not what you want to see. Let me check the lightning output on this. Let me zoom in tight. That lightning counter that you always see up here in the top right-hand part of your screen shows us how many strikes of lightning have happened in the last 10 minutes on the visible map view. And you can see that we're at about 80 strikes of lightning. And unfortunately, that number has come up over the last little bit. So that tells me, that's another indicator that this storm is strengthening. Right now, it's fairly small in size, but it's going to grow. And when it does grow, it could eventually drop a tornado, potentially, somewhere here in northern Conecuh or maybe southern Butler County. So again, just putting you on notice in communities like Georgiana, like McKenzie, Bowles, Lee Effian. If you live near Lee Effian School, just know this storm's going to be near you. There's no warning yet, but there could be in the next little bit. The Weather Service also is watching this with very keen interest as well. Yeah, and they're saying that they are very much watching this, and they may have to issue a tornado warning soon. So we're going to watch it with them, but while we do, you know, when we get into this zone where we have the active warning, we like to kind of stay with it and focus on the danger zone. That's kind of how we do it around here. But while we don't have an active warning, and by the way, I should mention as well, the tornado warning that was in effect for Butler and Lowndes has now gone. So the Weather Service in Birmingham has decided that and I agree with that, the circulation has broadened out and it's gone. So the supercell that was in progress in Lowndes County, north of Butler County, has collapsed. And yes, it's producing a lot of lightning, but it's below severe limits at this point. All right, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to be for that cell that I've been talking about. So if you are in Conecuh County and you're at Evergreen, what the Weather Service has opted to do is issue a severe thunderstorm warning for areas near you, including areas near Lee Effian, Owasso, Burnt Corn, Belleville, also areas near Green Street, Grace, Garland on the Butler County side, and McKenzie. So all those areas that I've been talking about, what the Weather Service has opted to do first is issue a severe thunderstorm warning. And they are concerned about the potential for damaging straight line winds in this storm coming out of Monroe County and entering into Conecuh County at this point. This warning is going to be in effect until 4:15 a.m. And so we're just getting that out in our Red Zone Weather app for the folks in Conecuh County and next in Butler County. And again, the concern is damaging straight line winds that could be up to 60 miles an hour, but quite frankly, this is often a precursor to a tornado warning. And with a signature like that, don't be surprised in the next few moments if we get a tornado warning. And if we do, it's going to generally be for these same areas that I've been talking about, all the way up to the Sapulga River, which serves as the county line between Conecuh and Butler counties. Just looking at our other feeds here to see, thanks for doing that, by the way, Luke, to see what we've got going on. I don't see any reports of damage so far from this leading this leading storm that came through Monroe and Butler County a bit ago. So I don't have any damage reports to share at this point, but I wouldn't be shocked if the first light of day reveals some trees down in the northern part of Monroe County. Getting a report from Talladega County, that's in central Alabama, of trees down. Have you seen anything pertinent over the last few minutes? Okay. And again, very, very challenging situation because this is 3:33 in the morning. And a lot of folks are asleep. And so if we do get another tornado warning, and I suspect that we might over the next few minutes for parts of Conecuh County, I'm gonna need your help because you are the folks that can help me get out this warning by calling, texting, and tagging folks in the comments below. Right now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. I should mention as well, there's a separate severe thunderstorm warning up here for parts of Autauga, Elmore, and Montgomery counties, and that does include Prattville. So a severe thunderstorm warning for the Montgomery Metro, Prattville, and Wetumpka until 4:15 a.m. But again, the reason we are here is this. Normally we don't stay on during severe thunderstorm warnings, but because this one looks to produce a tornado warning in the next little bit, we're gonna hang out here because I don't think it would be wise to, necessarily go away and then come back in the next few minutes if this thing does produce a tornado. And so expecting a tornado warning being possible soon in parts of northern Conecuh County, ultimately going to be crossing into Butler County over the next little bit. I actually see that a part of Monroe County was involved in this as well, but it's not going to affect Monroe County. This is clearly in Conecuh County, and the Weather Service will cancel out this part of Monroe that was technically involved. Speaking of Monroe County, this nasty line of thunderstorms, and when I say nasty, it's loud, it's proud, it's producing a lot of thunder. It's pushing just like that. And so this is about to cross Monroe County from the northwest going to the southeast. And you could have maybe 40-mile-per-hour winds. That kind of maybe a stretch. There's no warnings out for the main line, thankfully, and quite frankly, the velocities remain weak. So that's what we like to see. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning at the moment, but that thing, I tell you what, it is rotating. And in any time now, there could be a tornado warning issued for parts of Conecuh County. So we're going to see if the Weather Service decides to do that. It appears to be kind of a smaller rotation area than the last storm that was a tornado warning. When we started this, what time did we start? Do you happen to remember? Was it I think it was like 2 in the morning. Yeah, thank you. So we've been here an hour and a half for those of you that are just now joining us. And the first storm was a little bit bigger than this one. The rotation area was also a little bit bigger. But this one is a little smaller. It's on its way to becoming bigger. And it's right at Lynchburg right now, near Bermuda and also near Lurie in western Conecuh County. Burnt corn, you may have some brief gusty winds and also a lot of lightning and thunder in burnt corn right there on the county line. But it looks like the core of the rotation is going to pass to your south. This is not a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, we are here because we strongly suspect that this thing is going to probably ramp up and become a tornado warning in the next, say, 15 or so minutes. And that's why we're continuing the live stream here. And the Weather Service has canceled out the Monroe County part of this severe thunderstorm warning. So Monroe County, you're now without any kind of warning, even though the main line is coming into Monroe County from the northwest. So if you're in Monroeville, Purdue Hill, Beatrice, you're going to have some loud weather. But right now, that line is under severe limits, so that's a great thing. The only warning that we've got in the whole region in terms of South Alabama and Northwest Florida, we'll kind of do a reset as of 3:37 a.m., is this storm in Conecuh County that's a severe thunderstorm, could be producing gusty winds, maybe some hail as well, up to the size of a dime, and also potentially could be on its way to producing a tornado warning. That thing is wrapped up. It continues to show signs of strengthening. And just looking at this, this is going to pass to the north of US Highway 84. There's no doubt about that. So with that said, we can give you an all clear from this specific storm in Repton, in Belleville, in Evergreen. All clear for those areas from this developing storm. However, if you're in Bowles or Lieffian or Owassa or Booker's Mill, you are under the gun, and you potentially could have significant impacts if this thing ramps up to produce cause, I should say, a tornado warning to be issued over the next little bit. No travel right now on Alabama Highway 83 from Midway back down to Evergreen or vice versa, as we could have gusty winds coming in. The circulation is kind of weakened a little bit over the last few moments, so that certainly is good news. Again, this storm is rotating. It's not producing a tornado most likely right now, and that's why we have a severe thunderstorm warning in place, not a tornado warning. But it is broadly rotating, and that trend is probably going to continue. Let's kind of look at it and see where it came from. Yeah, and if you'll take me back over there, please, sir. I want to analyze and see exactly where this storm originated, because this clearly is a developing supercell out ahead of the main line of storms, and there it is. All right, so it started down in Monroe County. This was that weak storm that we looked at. If you remember, when we first started, I mentioned these storms as being really weak. Well, what's happened, this one has become strong. And basically, this could be producing a good bit of wind coming into Lieffian and Bowles over the next few moments. And again, we're encouraging everyone to be inside. You want to be away from windows. You don't have to necessarily take your tornado precautions right now as of 3:39 a.m., but we do want you to be inside and away from windows, as this thing could be producing up to 50-mile-an-hour winds coming into Lieffian over the next few minutes. I tell you what, if you live within 5 miles of the Lieffian school, you need to be in a safe place inside, as you could have maybe 60 or 70 mile per hour winds coming into that area over the next few minutes. Again, still got some broad rotation near Loree, but the circulation is not as pronounced as it once was. Again, no tornado warning with this, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Tell you what, let's zoom out, and I want to check on this storm. This is a developing storm near Bratt, and there's no warning with this right now. Let me check the velocity. Yeah, there's nothing there, so that's good news, but it is producing a lot of lightning, and we're going to have to keep watching that one, because if that continues to strengthen, that potentially could be a problem for areas near Bruton, which is where we are. We are in the northern part of Bruton, Alabama, and if this thing were to start rotating, it's going to make a beeline for the Bruton area. So, got to watch that one as well. There's another developing storm down around Foley and Alberta in Baldwin County. Storms popping up all around. There's another one, small shower near Pace. Storm just to the east of Whiting Field out towards Rowville. That storm is not severe. Let's go back to our main line of storms back in West Alabama. These are loud and proud storms that could be producing gusty winds up to, say, 30 or 40 miles an hour, but this is nothing compared to what happened the other night. I mean, that line of storms 5 days ago was intense. This one is not. Yes, it's producing quite a bit of lightning, but quite frankly, the storms are just totally different universe, thankfully. Let's go back over to LD3, please. I want to show you the wide view across the region. All right, so here's the situation at hand. As of 3:41 a.m., the main line of storms is in West Alabama. And once this main line comes through your location, we will be able to give you an all clear. We certainly can't do that just yet for many communities out ahead of the line, but what we can do is tell you who's behind the line. And we did that earlier. I want to do that again. Let's go back over to LD1. Here's some good news. If you are in the community of Jackson, Alabama, in Clark County, Jackson and Grove Hill, we'll give you an all clear. All clear from the severe weather hazards tonight. You're done for the whole night. Jackson, Leroy, Chatham, go to bed. Same thing at Grove Hill, Fulton, Watley, areas near Zimco, Salitpa, Coffeyville, all clear. Can't give any all clears yet to any counties in the local area because we've still got storms there, but nonetheless, The communities I just called out, you get an all clear. Let's zoom into our severe thunderstorm warning and check on the rotation. Yeah, it's still there, but it's certainly not as pronounced as it once was. And so that is excellent, excellent news. What I'd like to do is show you a wide view across the region. Let's put this in motion because that storm is kind of staying fairly weak as of now. That's good news. What we're going to do is go back to covering storms in the Red Zone weather app. And if we have more tornado warnings, I suspect we probably will, we will come straight back on Facebook Live, of course, to bring you the very latest. So the situation at hand as of now, we have an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning for parts of northern Conecuh County near Alabama Highway 83. Gusty winds are the concern, up to 60 miles an hour, but there's no tornado warning as of 3:43 a.m. Main line of storms extends from areas near Franklin and Monroe County back down to, let's say, Fruitdale and Citronelle. That main line of storms is going to continue moving southeast, and as it does so, we're going to see more storms just like these pop up out ahead of it that could produce tornadoes. Don't forget, we're all now under a tornado watch, technically until 9 a.m. It won't last that long, but technically we're under a tornado watch until 9 a.m. And so have a way to hear warnings over the next little bit. We have been here because of an active tornado warning about an hour ago for parts of northern Monroe and northern Butler counties. The cell that prompted the warning has weakened. It's moved into Lowndes County. I've heard of no reports of damage, but if we hear those reports, we'll pass those along as well in the Red Zone Weather app. You can see that the tornado warnings have gone away, and in its wake, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that continues because of the cell near Liefeld. If we get a tornado warning on it or on any more of the storms, we'll come straight back on Facebook Live and YouTube Live to bring you the very latest. Have a way to hear warnings over the next little bit. We are not done with this yet. So again, have a way to hear warnings, and we will come back on the stream if we have more warnings. I'm Spinks Megginson with Luke McKinnish. We will see you soon.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.